At first, I thought I was alone in those woods. Then I noticed the red hat. Not in front of me, not behind me, in the background of a video I recorded earlier that day. I still have the clip saved on an old phone, and every time I watch it again, I notice something new. The worst part, realizing how close he actually was. A few years ago, I moved to a quiet rural town surrounded by forest. I was tired of crowded places. The silence out there felt peaceful at first. On weekends, I'd go hiking alone and record random clips on my phone. Trails, old bridges, forests, stuff like that. One Saturday afternoon, just before Christmas, I decided to explore a part of the woods I'd never seen before. The deeper I walked, the stranger the forest started to feel. At first I couldn't figure out what was bothering me. Then I realized something. Everything had gone quiet. No birds, no wind, no insects, just the sound of my boots moving through dead leaves. After about an hour, I came across a swamp hidden behind thick trees. The water was dark and completely still. Dead branches stuck out of the water at strange angles. The whole place smelled damp, like rotting wood. I pulled out my phone and recorded a quick video while filming. I suddenly got this weird feeling, like someone was standing nearby watching me. I know that sounds dramatic, but at the time, it felt more instinctive than fear. I stopped recording and looked around. Nothing, just trees. Still, I decided to head back toward the main trail. The walk back felt different. I kept looking over my shoulder for no reason. Every shadow between the trees started looking like a person. By the time I reached the public trail area, I finally felt relieved. There were a few parked cars nearby, and a small restroom building close to the trailhead. I went inside, washed my face, stayed there for a minute, trying to calm down. Then I walked back outside and saw him. A guy standing near the trail entrance, wearing a black hoodie and a bright red hat. What stood out immediately was that he didn't look like he belonged there. No backpack, no water bottle, no hiking gear. He was just standing there, watching people. When he noticed me looking at him, he smiled. "Hey," he said, "you out here alone?" The question instantly made me uncomfortable. I gave a short answer and started walking toward the parking area. Then he started walking beside me. Not aggressively, just close enough to feel wrong. After a few seconds, he pointed deeper into the woods. "My hood's jammed open," he said. "I need someone with smaller hands to reach the latch." There was no road in that direction, no visible car either, just trees. At that point, every instinct I had was telling me not to go anywhere near him. I started making excuses, trying to end the conversation without sounding rude. Luckily, a couple appeared farther down the trail. The second I saw them, I walked over and pretended I knew them. The man in the red hat stopped following me after that. But before leaving, he looked directly at me for a few seconds, still smiling. Then he walked toward an old red sedan parked near the edge of the lot, and drove away. I went home immediately, locked every door, checked every window. Honestly, I remember feeling stupid afterward, like maybe I'd overreacted. Later that night, I opened the swamp video again. At first, everything looked normal. The water, the trees, the silence. Then I paused the video. Something in the background looked wrong. I zoomed in, and that's when I saw it. Less than 20 feet behind me, partially hidden inside the trees, was the man in the red hat, crouched down, watching me record. I actually felt sick when I realized what I was looking at. He hadn't randomly met me near the restroom. He had already been following me through the woods, long before I ever noticed him. I never went back to that part of the forest again. But sometimes, when I'm outside alone, I still catch myself checking tree lines, just in case. Most people are afraid of ghosts, but honestly, I think real people are worse. Ghost stories stop being scary once the lights come back on. What happened in my friend Ron's house didn't. because whatever was hiding in that basement was real. And for a few seconds, it was only a few feet away from me. A friend of mine, named Ron, bought an older house with his wife Tina a few years ago. The place had a bad reputation in town, because the previous owner had died there. People called it a death house. Honestly, I thought it was just small-town gossip. At first, everything seemed normal. Then little things started happening. Mugs disappearing, cabinet doors left open, furniture slightly moved. Nothing major, just enough to make you question yourself. Tina started getting nervous pretty quickly. Ron tried acting like none of it bothered him. Then, one night, around 2 a.m., Ron heard a loud thud from the basement. Not a creak, not pipes, something heavy. He opened the basement door and swore he saw movement near the back wall. He slammed the door shut immediately. By morning, both of them had checked into a hotel. When Ron told me the story, I honestly thought stress was getting to him. So later that evening, I went over there alone. The second I stepped inside the house, I noticed the smell. Not horrible, just stale, like sweat, mildew, and damp clothes. The place also felt strangely humid. I remember joking out loud, mostly to calm myself down. See, no ghosts. I pulled out my phone, turned on the flashlight, and headed toward the basement. The stairs creaked the entire way down. The basement itself was almost completely dark. Concrete floor, exposed pipes, storage shelves, pretty normal. I even laughed a little and recorded a quick video for Ron. "Look," I said into the camera. "No monsters." Then I moved the flashlight toward the far corner. At first, I thought there was a pile of clothes sitting against the wall. Then I realized it was breathing. A man was sitting there, completely still. He looked extremely thin, almost sickly, and his clothes were filthy. The light hit his eyes strangely, almost reflective. He was staring directly at me. I froze, for maybe 2 or 3 seconds. Neither of us moved. Then his mouth opened, and he screamed, not angrily, terrified, like he was scared of me. I ran upstairs so fast I nearly slipped. I slammed the basement door shut and held the handle while he started hitting the other side. The noises didn't sound normal. He kept yelling the same thing over and over. No, no, no. I called the police while trying to hold the door shut. By the time officers arrived, my hands were shaking so badly I could barely explain what happened. The police searched the basement with flashlights drawn. A few minutes later, one of them came back upstairs, looking confused. The basement was empty. No blankets, no food. No signs that anyone had been living there. Even the smell seemed weaker somehow. One officer asked if I was sure I'd actually seen someone. I told him I had the video. The weird part is, the camera barely caught him. You can only see him clearly for a second when the flashlight reaches the corner. But he's there, sitting perfectly still, watching me. Ron and Tina never moved back into that house. And honestly, after what I saw down there, I don't blame them.
If you want more real-life stories like this, subscribe to the channel, like this video, and let me know your thoughts in the comments.